Tuna is one of the fish species with high economic value, popular in the international market, especially in the food processing and export industry. The process of catching tuna requires high technology, careful preparation and a lot of experience from fishermen. Normally, tuna live in offshore waters, where there are great depths and strong currents. So fishing vessels must be large, fully equipped with GPS positioning systems, sonar fish finders and modern preservation equipment. There are many methods of catching tuna. The most popular are hand line, long line and purse seine, of which long line is an environmentally friendly method, causing little damage to individual tuna, and is chosen by many fishermen. When the ship detects a school of fish, the anglers will use bait made from small fish or live squid to attract tuna to bite the hook. Fishermen must be agile. Well coordinated and in good health, because tuna are large, very strong and often struggle violently when pulled out of the water. After the fish are pulled onto the deck, they are quickly processed by draining blood and immediately refrigerated to ensure meat quality. For offshore fishing vessels that last for weeks, tuna are also frozen on board using a -60°C deep freeze system to maintain freshness before being brought ashore. This entire process not only requires the fishermen to be resilient and meticulous, but also requires strict compliance with regulations on protecting aquatic resources, avoiding catching young tuna or exceeding the permitted output. Thanks to modern fishing techniques combined with traditional experience, tuna fishing in Vietnam and many other coastal countries is increasingly developing, contributing to increasing income for fishermen and affirming the position of domestic seafood in the world market. In addition to technical factors, the time and area of fishing also play a very important role in the efficiency of tuna harvesting. Tuna season usually takes place from March to September every year, when ocean currents carry large amounts of food, creating favorable conditions for tuna to gather in large schools. Key sea areas such as Truong Sa, Hoang Sa, and the Central Sea from Phu Yen to Binding are famous for their abundant tuna reserves. Fishermen in these localities have formed fleets specializing in catching ocean tuna, with skilled workers and traditional experience. In addition, preservation and transportation after catching are more important than ever. After being deep frozen, the tuna will be put into the ship's cold storage, ensuring that it does not lose water, is not crushed and retains its freshness when it arrives at port. When the ship docks, the fish are immediately taken to the processing plants. Where experts will classify, trim, check the meat quality and package it according to international standards. For sashimi-grade ocean tuna, the quality is strictly assessed from color, firmness to flavor, ensuring it meets the requirements for export to demanding markets such as Japan, the US or Europe. In addition, local authorities and functional agencies also actively support fishermen through training programs, preferential credit, fuel supply, modern equipment, as well as raising awareness of marine environmental protection. Thanks to that, tuna fishing is not only a livelihood but also a symbol of the hard-working, persistent spirit and aspiration of Vietnamese fishermen to go offshore on the journey to conquer the vast ocean. It can be said that tuna fishing is a complex chain of activities, requiring large investments in human resources. Technology and a sense of responsibility for the marine environment. It is not simply a journey to find resources from the ocean, but also a vivid expression of the culture of marine labor, closely linked to the lives of fishermen and the development of a sustainable marine economy. In the context of climate change, environmental pollution and the increasing risk of declining aquatic resources, the exploitation of tuna in a controlled, scientific and sustainable manner is extremely necessary. Fishermen not only need to be equipped with modern knowledge and skills but also be aware of their role in protecting the marine ecosystem. With support from the state, businesses and international organizations, tuna fishing is gradually being upgraded, reaching out to the global market firmly. From the ships that set sail every early morning to the fresh tuna slices sold in supermarkets at home and abroad, all are the result of tireless efforts. These things have contributed to affirming the value and great potential of tuna fishing in the modern marine economy, while preserving and promoting the precious fishing tradition of the nation. Not only in terms of economics, tuna fishing also has profound cultural and spiritual significance. Each trip to sea is not only a journey to make a living but also a symbol of the courage, bravery and solidarity of fishermen in the vast ocean. Stories about the journey of overcoming waves and facing storms to bring back valuable catches of fish have become an indispensable part of the life of coastal communities. In addition, tuna has also become a special ingredient in Vietnamese cuisine, especially in the central coastal provinces, where tuna is not only processed into rustic dishes such as braised, grilled, steamed, but also upgraded into sashimi, salad or soup dishes for tourists and export. The added value of tuna has created a chain of links between fishermen, processing factories, export enterprises and restaurants and hotels, opening up opportunities for comprehensive economic development for coastal localities. In the future, if we continue to receive proper investment, apply modern science and technology and maintain the spirit of attachment to the sea, tuna fishing will certainly continue to develop strongly, both ensuring the livelihood of fishermen and contributing to the sustainable development of the fisheries industry and the marine economy of Vietnam. However, for tuna fishing to develop sustainably and long-term, there are still many challenges that need to be resolved synchronously. First of all, the issue of climate change. With global warming, changes in ocean currents and seawater salinity is clearly affecting traditional tuna fishing grounds, making fishing more difficult and costly. In addition, overexploitation and destructive fishing methods such as bottom trawling or dynamite fishing, although banned, still exist in some places, seriously threatening tuna resources and the marine ecosystem in general. In addition, many fishermen still do not have full access to scientific and technical advances and international standards on sustainable fishing, making it difficult to improve product quality and competitiveness in the world market. To overcome these obstacles, close coordination is needed between the state, businesses, scientific organizations and the fishermen themselves. Investing in post-harvest preservation technology, vocational training, expanding consumption markets and applying co-management fisheries management models will be strategic steps, contributing to preserving this valuable resource for future generations. Only then will tuna fishing truly become a key economic sector of Vietnam's sea and islands, a symbol of the strong vitality and aspiration of people to reach far in front of the vast ocean. In the general development flow of the country, the exploitation and effective promotion of the potential of the sea, especially through tuna fishing, is increasingly focused and promoted. The initial successes in building the Vietnamese tuna brand in the international market have proven that with a reasonable strategy and long-term vision, we can completely turn this traditional industry into an important part of the modern marine economy. Some localities such as Phu Yen, Cang Hoa, Binh Dinh have gradually formed value chains in tuna exploitation, processing and consumption, contributing to improving the lives of thousands of fishing households. At the same time, combining tuna exploitation with sea tourism development and promoting fishing culture also opens up new directions. Helping to spread the value of the sea's identity to international friends. In the context of deep integration, tuna fishing not only has economic and cultural significance but is also part of the strategy to affirm national sovereignty over seas and islands. Fishing boats with red flags with yellow stars quietly go to sea not only for a living but also to contribute to preserving the sacred sea of the fatherland. Therefore, the development of fisheries in general and tuna fishing in particular needs to continue to be placed in a long-term vision, harmonizing economic development, environmental protection and preserving sovereignty over seas and islands, so that each tuna is not only a valuable product of the ocean but also a symbol of the belief, will and sustainable future of the Vietnamese people at the forefront with all the economic, cultural and strategic values mentioned above. Tuna fishing is clearly not only a traditional profession. But also an indispensable part of the comprehensive development picture of the fisheries industry and the marine economy of Vietnam. It is a vivid demonstration of the long-standing attachment between people and the sea, the spirit of perseverance in overcoming difficulties and the aspiration to reach new horizons. For this profession to continue to develop strongly and sustainably in the future, it requires consensus from many sides, from fishermen who need to raise awareness of protecting resources, to stronger investment in technology, support policies from the state, as well as the cooperation of businesses in building brands and expanding markets. When core values are preserved and promoted, Tuna fishing will continue to be the pride of coastal fishing villages. A solid foundation for the livelihoods of tens of thousands of households. And more importantly, a key link in the strategy of developing the marine economy associated with protecting national sovereignty. Looking to the future. Amidst many challenges and opportunities, Vietnamese tuna will certainly continue to expand, contributing to raising the position of Vietnamese seafood on the world map. It is in this journey that tuna fishing has been and is contributing to shaping a new face for Vietnam's seas, a place that not only has peaceful fishing villages but is also the center of dynamism, integration and development. Each offshore fishing boat not only brings back valuable products but also becomes a symbol of the strong vitality and will to conquer the sea of the Vietnamese people. Efforts to innovate technology, improve product quality, protect the marine environment and build the Vietnamese tuna brand have created a strong transformation for the entire industry. In an era where natural resources are gradually depleted, reasonable and sustainable exploitation is more urgent than ever. Tuna fishing, if properly oriented, not only brings immediate value but also contributes to preserving and developing long-term benefits for future generations. Young generations born in fishing villages today have every right to be proud and hope that their ancestors' fishing profession will be continued with knowledge, technology and aspiration to reach far. And so, amidst the storms of the ocean, tuna is not only a precious gift of the sea but also a symbol of resilience, of the spirit of tireless work and of the open future that lies ahead. With all that, it can be affirmed that tuna fishing is not only an economic activity for livelihood, but also an inseparable part of the cultural identity, the historical depth and the future development of coastal communities in Vietnam. Amidst the storms, each tuna fishing boat is a beautiful image of courage, intelligence, persistent work and belief in a bright tomorrow. It is the crystallization of tradition and modernity, of millennial experience with advances in science and technology in the new era. Therefore, for tuna fishing to continue to develop strongly and become a bright spot in Vietnam's marine economy, it is necessary to have close attention and long-term companionship from all levels of government, social organizations, businesses and the entire community. Protecting fishermen, protecting tuna resources and protecting the marine environment is protecting the future of the country in front of the ocean. When these values are respected and nurtured, Vietnamese tuna is not only the pride of a coastal region, but also a symbol of the aspiration of the entire nation to reach out to the ocean. From the economic, social, environmental, cultural and sovereignty perspectives, tuna fishing is truly a potential field, playing an important role in the sustainable development of the country. It is not only the story of fishermen drifting at sea, but also the story of each of us, those who live in a country that takes the sea as a space for survival and development. Each tuna brought from the deep ocean to shore is the result of much effort, intelligence and belief. Therefore, Protecting and developing the tuna industry is also preserving a part of the soul of Vietnam's sea. In the future, if we continue to invest in the right direction, promote sustainable exploitation models, build strong brands and deepen connections between fishermen, businesses and the state, Vietnamese tuna will certainly not only stand firm in the international market, but also reach further, affirming the position of Vietnamese seafood on the global marine economic map. And then, from each homeland sea, ships will continue to set sail, carrying not only the hope of making a living but also national pride at the threshold of the vast ocean and a bright future. Tuna is one of the fish species with high economic value. Popular in the international market, especially in the food processing and export industry. The process of catching tuna requires high technology, careful preparation and a lot of experience from fishermen. Normally, tuna live in offshore waters, where there are great depths and strong currents. So fishing vessels must be large, fully equipped with GPS positioning systems, sonar fish finders and modern preservation equipment. There are many methods of catching tuna. The most popular are hand line, long line and purse seine, of which, long line is an environmentally friendly method, causing little damage to individual tuna, and is chosen by many fishermen. When the ship detects a school of fish, the anglers will use bait made from small fish or live squid to attract tuna to bite the hook. Fishermen must be agile. Well coordinated and in good health because tuna are large, very strong and often struggle violently when pulled out of the water. After the fish are pulled onto the deck, they are quickly processed by draining blood and immediately refrigerated to ensure meat quality. For offshore fishing vessels that last for weeks, tuna are also frozen on board using a -60°C deep freeze system to maintain freshness before being brought ashore. This entire process not only requires the fishermen to be resilient and meticulous, but also requires strict compliance with regulations on protecting aquatic resources, avoiding catching young tuna or exceeding the permitted output. Thanks to modern fishing techniques combined with traditional experience, tuna fishing in Vietnam and many other coastal countries is increasingly developing, contributing to increasing income for fishermen and affirming the position of domestic seafood in the world market. In addition to technical factors, the time and area of fishing also play a very important role in the efficiency of tuna harvesting. Tuna season usually takes place from March to September every year, when ocean currents carry large amounts of food, creating favorable conditions for tuna to gather in